All right, guys, it's Melissa. I have had my breakfast today and I want to talk more about the mother-in-law relationship. So, couple things. I do need to put this on my feet today. My feet are dry. Make sure you take good care of your feet, floss, everything. So, when I was flossing and brushing my teeth, I was thinking about how much, in some ways, I am like my mother in so many ways. I was laughing about something earlier today and I could not stop laughing. And as I was laughing, I was like thinking about my mother's laugh and how she used to laugh. And I almost choked on my water laughing, and my mother would do like the same thing. So when you are your mother's daughter and someone else wants to try to control you, it's not okay. So somebody had said something to me like, oh, I know how mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws sometimes have a tiff. As I've talked on my channel, this is not like a little tiff. This is a mother-in-law who has some major problems with, just being so destructive and so hateful toward me. And the thing I said to this person was, I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown woman. I've been a grown woman for a long time. Maybe she means well. I'm sure she means well. We're trying to control me. I don't know, but it's not her place. There would be more loyalty to my own mother than to her. But even then, I'm a grown woman, I said, and I expect respect. So that's kind of how it is as you grow up. I mean, usually when you get married young, your in-laws since you've been a kid, and there has to be a time that they have to back off and say, she's a grown woman and I think she's capable of making her own decisions. And I don't think I need to be there as a mother-in-law telling her whether she should homeschool her kids or what she should do in her marriage, right? There's got to be a time that they back off. And one thing I appreciated when I was in some of my Bible studies in my groups is you are treated like an adult. You're treated like a grown lady, and the older woman, a lot of women would treat you as their equal. Like, hey, Melissa, how are you doing? And so yesterday I had a conversation, two conversations? Yeah, no, the day before I had a conversation with a sister in Christ. And we were talking about things of God. I had shared this. We were talking about that. And she was extremely respectful to me. I mean, just extremely in her whole demeanor toward me, the way she talked to me. And she would pick up on the conversation too a lot. Like, what did I share? Oh, I shared some things that I'm learning, and talked about how as a homeschool mom, I had done some things, and she's like, oh my goodness, think of your story, Melissa. You went from having family from the projects to homeschooling. That's like a total change. I'm like, yeah, I did a 180. And so I was telling her how my mother just didn't have mothering skills. She just didn't. And when I think about that, how my mother was, with 9, she had to look after her 9 brothers and sisters. I don't have all the details of everything, but how when she started to grandparent with me, I mean, I had to say, use a car seat, don't give him infant milk without water. So these are basics, and so to think about her trying to take care of her 9 brothers and sisters without some basic skills, even from having me, like, I mean, my goodness, this stuff should have been down by now, right? And I'm not saying that in a mean way, but you can clearly see the skill was not there. And my mother was more like a friend than a mother to me. And so when we talk about mother-in-law situations, I think the mother-in-law really does need to kind of mind her business and pretty much stay, in her own lane, because not only do you have your own mother who you want to either work things out because you don't want to be like her, or you want to be like her, right? You want to be like her. And you are, as a woman growing up, and you're like, okay, this is my identity and this is how I feel as a mother. And you will push people away because you are busy learning how to be a mother. And they have to take the back role. I mean, they had the main role when you were growing up. But as you grow, they have to have more skills. They have to be more like, okay, so now she's a mom and she's going to be mama bear with her own kids. So how do I approach her? How do I be respectful to her? How can I be respectful to her and her husband? It's not, well, I'm in the neighborhood and I think I'll pop by and it's all about me and I want this and I want a grandparent and I want to do this and I want to do that. No, there's other people involved in this, right? So, being extremely respectful, I think, is so important in the mother-daughter relationship, the adult mother-daughter relationship. Because when you're younger, I mean, you're just doing what your mom says and what your mom wants, right? You do what your parents say. By the teen years, I mean, there should already be some backing off because you're growing into adulthood. So definitely when you become a mother, if you do not learn this, if your parents have not learned this the time you become a mother, they will learn the hard way. Just like with my sons, as they have grown up, they will not be afraid to push me away if I am asking questions that they don't care for, or if I'm like, oh, well, you should do this or that. Back off. Because that is how it is with sons. Sons are not afraid to tell their mother where the boundary is. They're just not. Not my sons. I guess my husband, maybe he can't talk to his mother. Guess he's a mama's boy. But with my sons, they're not afraid, right? And I respect that. And it just shows me there's a balloon there that was put out. You test your sons too as you homeschool them. You're like, okay, I wonder if they know this or they know that. You put out like these balloons or these tests and you're like, okay, they know that. Or no, they don't know that. So we're going to go over this again or whatever. But when they're adults, you're like, okay, they got this. Or, it's kind of like you're kind of like a guide, right? When they're older, and then when they are adults, you're just like, keep on backing away, keep on backing off. And I think that is normal because they are trying to live their own life. And if you don't, you're going to hear it. So, it's just natural. So, anyways, I still have this card. I'll use it probably at some point when I'm in New Hampshire. This is what my husband gave me. I said, here's a gas card. Someone gave me this. He's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the one traveling, so I think I need it. And I go, I need that back. He goes, you Indian giver. I go, yep. And we laughed. So that's that is like the last time I saw my husband. Kept the goodbye short. He didn't want to come with us. So I had a gut feeling it may have been the last time I would see him. And sure enough, my gut was right. Because he was acting funny about things. So, the mother-in-law has a very small role in your life unless you want to develop a good relationship. But again, you and your mother are the main thing, you and your own mother. And if if your mother-in-law is respectful and honors your wishes and appreciates you, I think that can be a really healthy thing. And for me, because I didn't really have, I actually, I really did appreciate when I first was married to my husband, and like my mother-in-law, she just made the cake for the wedding. That was fine. It was a surprise. They put soap on the car. They did their own thing when we were married. And, I didn't really have any expectations when I was first married. I didn't. And then once I had kids and I was growing, I did appreciate a lot that, we could go over there and have a meal or whatever. But as I continue to grow, with my second one, my third one, and like I've shared, we're not going to the parties, we're not doing all this. That is the time a mother-in-law really has to back off and say, okay, she was one or two kids. She's a new mom, but when she gets that third one or whatever, she's going to put her foot down. So just be very wary of that. And me now, as someone who is looking forward to more skills as a mom, and looking forward to the future with my guys, it's going to be, again, it's just kind of living my own life now, and being very cautious about how I would approach things with, a daughter-in-law. I mean, I don't even think at this point, that there would be too much involvement, for me. It would all be behind my sons pretty much. I did meet one of my son's girlfriends and really just, gave her a ton of space because I didn't want to come across as an overbearing mother-in-law. So when you see, and we went over for dinner, and this girl's mother and her had it looked like a very good relationship. So her mother, I mean, you just don't want to push it. You had your sons, her mother's going to be everything to her. And yeah, so I think it's really smart for the long run to be like, we're going to take the long approach here and really take our time with being careful, letting her come to you, not be overbearing with her. So this is not black and white for everyone. Some mother and daughter-in-law relationships hit it off really fast. Some mother-in-laws actually put their son in their place and stand up for their daughter-in-law. So there's a lot to it. But when you see something that's just destructive, just keep your boundaries up, guys. So that's what I got for now about the mother-in-law thing. What else is going on? So I think as I think about different things, different goals in the future, I will be talking about helping mothers again in more ways, probably as your kids get older. I think I'll probably be getting into that. My other channel, my other phone is down, so I can't get to my other channel right now. But yeah, just more stuff. Keep on going, ladies. Even as you get older, keep on going, mamas. Keep on investing in your kids. I still invest in my sons. I still, I had yesterday, had given my son a late Father's Day gift, for not only was he a father before his wife walked out with her stepson, but he fathers as a teacher. He fathers many kids. So I wanted to honor that for him and continue to invest in your kids. And even if I live, kind of my own life and I go to New Hampshire, I will be in New Hampshire off and on quite a bit because I love New Hampshire. You still can keep those relationships strong. So this will be my home, and I will probably also have a second home in New Hampshire. I love this. I love sharing, being here with my sons. I plan on keeping this place for now with my sons. It's just cheaper right now. And then eventually having a house in New Hampshire too. So I will be having 2 places of residence. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.